So good evening, Madam President, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Tonight, you're going to learn the connection between talent, sparkle and Pythagoras. Now talent, everyone's got a talent, I believe. It can be anything. A talent is actually a skill or an aptitude, a natural skill. It can be washing the dishes, doing some dancing, maybe some dentistry, or even some diving. It doesn't matter what it is, but once you've got it, you found your spark and you generally have a good life. Whatever happens, you can get through it, you've got something you're good at. But unfortunately, some children don't get the opportunity to find their talent. And if they do find their talent, sometimes they find it really difficult to get it nurtured for one reason or another. And that can lead to a life of unhappiness and destruction, not just for them, but for those around them. So that is why I set up Talent Within You in 2008. And a long-term objective was to reduce street crime, kids from doing street crime. And I'll tell you, we'll catch up on that right at the end of my talk. But we had to do it in two phases. Because first of all, I wanted to find the children that hadn't quite found their talent. But to do that, I needed to inspire them. So I tried to find people like David Beckham to come down and do some mentoring. But of course, he wanted £1,000 a day, and it was me funding it at the time. So I thought, I'll find some children that have already got their talents, and they can inspire the ones who haven't quite found their talents. So that's when I launched, as I say, phase one, and I set up Worthing Idol. And Worthing Idol was a talent contest. And the benefit of that, it's a bit like X Factor, but the judges were much kinder. We had no Simon Cowells anywhere. And Worthing Idol was a bit of a fundraiser. We did it 2 years in a row. And it's attracting all these kids that had actually found their talent. And it gave them a chance to showcase what they were good at. And we had first, second and third prizes. And the first prize would be like some money towards developing their talent and so on. If you just look through them now, I'm sure, thank you, you'll see we had some really good news press. So phase one was really successful in itself. There's several of these, and you'll eventually get to one which is Jack. Lizzie Haynes actually was last year's the last Worthing Idol winner, and she has actually, if you just stay at she's actually got a recording contract now. And all the kids that are in Worthing Idol, they've actually, they've all kept in touch with me. And when I said to them, I want to now launch phase two of Worthing, Talent Within You, they've all said they want to be mentors, they want to come on board and be mentors. And they're really excited about it. So I've got those already. So we're about to launch phase two very shortly. So we just go on to the next slide, Sean. This is Jack Ford. Now I met him. He was potentially one of these kids that didn't have, or hadn't quite found his talent. He was on his Xbox playing all day. I mean, you could call that talent, I suppose. But one day I was walking to the corner shop, and his mum was fast asleep almost at the counter, and we were joking, saying, have you had a good night out? And she'd actually been up to the Guildford Spectrum to take her son ice skating training. And the lovely story is that Jack was, as I say, on his Xbox all day. It's his sister's birthday. She wanted to go to the Guildford Spectrum skating. He reluctantly went along with the family, jumped onto the ice, was mucking about, and unbeknown to him, British champion ice dancer Diane Towler-Green was actually training someone else in the ice. Spotted Jack mucking about and said, you've got potential. And that was it. Jack's found his spark. And so with Jack, that was Jack on the ice. We go to the next slide. Todd Carty was actually in pantomime that year. And some of you might remember he was on Dancing on Ice. Not quite so talented at ice skating, but a very talented actor. And he actually agreed to be our patron and help Jack. And he came, I think there's another slide coming up with Jack on the Earth. That's Jack when he did his dance at the Worthing Ice Rink. And he danced with Todd Carty. And it's just a really lovely time. So that was phase one, we did really well there. So I want to get it up to phase two. So fast forward 8 years. Oh, that's Jack again. That's Todd, Jack and myself. And then the next slide. So now, in the last 8 years I've been studying, as you may well know, marketing, executive coaching, leadership. And one of the things I've really learned and researched is about STEMs, which is science, technology, engineering and maths subjects. And they don't seem to get, in schools they're really high on the agenda, But outside, you don't get X Factor with mathematicians, or although you get STEM Fest, which I'll touch on later, you don't get so much, the boffins they're known as. So I want to almost glamorise that and make it more acceptable. So in my discussions and launching phase 2, I bumped into Mandy Chapman, who is principal of Glendale Theatre and Art School, and she actually shared with me that lots of her students are actually very A-grade at maths and STEM subjects. So one of them in particular has got 4 A stars in her A-levels, and she went on and got A honours at Cambridge University in economics. So it just shows you don't have to choose one or the other, hence the name No Boundaries. So, and we did a few case studies and spoke to the children and said, why do you think you are good at dancing and maths? Why haven't you had to choose between them? And they said, we think it's all the repetition of the dancing. In fact, here, I brought them with me and I forgot to hold up my props. Here are her daughter's ballet shoes. So this, can you imagine, the memories around it and these shoes and the spirit around these shoes. The lady who's been wearing, she's a lady now, she's a young girl between 5 and 16, wore these, and now she's at Cambridge, or past at Cambridge. So it's the memory recall, the team building, the dedication, the commitment to going to lessons all the time. That's why these children are often quite good at both. So we'll go to the next one. So what have we done so far? Well, we've got the brand name sorted out, we've got the experience of phase 1 behind us, we've got the mentors on board, we've got the scholarship from Glendale, we're still fine-tuning what we're going to have to do to achieve that. I've almost delivered my first talk on a new phase 2, and we're still refining the objectives, and I've just started the creative logo and the website. Yes, please. So we have some gaps, of course. I can't do it all, and that's one of the things I've learned in the last 8 years. You can't do everything. So these are some of the gaps. We need some volunteers and mentors. We need somebody who really loves being a treasurer, who loves that sort of thing. And we need people to come along and support our events. But finally, if there's anything there that actually resonated with you, inspired you, you'd like to come on, I'll be in the bar in the break, come and see me. But finally, this whole charity is dedicated to my supergram. And the reason why is because 15 years ago, she was mugged and beaten. And the kids who did it were 15 years old, and they said they were bored. And that's what inspired me to do Talent Within You. Mr. Toastmaster.